1 or 2 losses at the end of the season. How have you been feeling going into this final?
Yeah, I think we've been feeling good. If you can have a good loss, that was a great loss for us to have in terms of the camaraderie, bringing the lads back together and doing what we wanted to and planned to execute from the start of the season. So if it was going to come, it was a really good time for us to get momentum going into playoffs and execute what we do and really understand each other, get to know each other a little bit more after being through a negative.
Yeah, I mean, I came and watched the quarter-final against Greenwich, and I was really impressed by the team ethic and the team work rate that you guys had, and the ball movement as well. Going into the final, what's kind of like your key factors that you're going to be looking at trying to do?
So definitely some of that. You know, we've got a great team that we're playing against in St Helens with a lot of great players. The last game against them was really a spectacle. They got into their groove early on, put us 21 down, and then we got into our groove later on, and we managed to come back from that. So I don't think we'll expect that from the game today. I think it'll be a really tight game. Both a lot of respect for each other, so we're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for your time, Jordan. Appreciate it, and good luck for the final.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm here with Dominic O'Neill of the St Helens Saints. Dominic, this season so far, you guys have been really, really good. You're playing against the only team that's beaten you this season. How are you feeling about the final, and how's it been on the journey so far?
Oh no, it's just been great. Obviously, getting promoted from Division 3 to Division 2 was a bit of a step up for our club last year. We've had some adversity throughout the season, just having like player availability with injuries and stuff like that. So we did a really good job. To do as well as we've done, winning 20 games in the regular season. But it's just a credit to the players and how much they've committed to the club and the team and stuff. And we're really happy to be here. And obviously, we've had 2 tough games with the City of Birmingham so far. They've had a great season, but obviously we're here to win today.
Brilliant. So going into the semi-final, I was watching it and I saw there was a lot of stuff, a lot of back and forth during that game. But I liked what I was seeing. There was a lot of tenacity, a lot of fight between you guys. And Connor's definitely one to watch. Connor Mercer definitely one to watch in this final. What are you expecting from him, and how's he going to factor into today's game?
I mean, Connor's just a former junior of our club, so I think, you know, being from that area and stuff, it means a lot to him, as it does myself. And our guys, like, they want to play in those tough games. Like the semi-final, things weren't going right for us. We wasn't shooting the ball as well as we usually do, and we managed to rotate 12 players and find a group of players that are willing to tough out those wins. So it's great.
Well, look forward to seeing what happens in the final. Good luck. Best of wishes.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And a very warm welcome into the D2 men's playoff final here from the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester. It is the City of Birmingham Rockets, the #1 seed, taking on the St Helens Saints. We are in for a very special game of basketball. The stars are out and the stars are behind the mics. Going over to our commentary team of Will Reid and John Hobbs.
Thank you very much, Darren. The final game of the first day here at the playoff finals weekend at the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester. It is the NBL Division Two playoff final between the City of Birmingham Rockets and the St Helens Saints. John Hobbs and Will Reid here. And Will, obviously you are a Division Two player yourself with the Northamptonshire Titans, so a lot of interest in this final for yourself. It's an evenly balanced matchup on paper, and it all comes down to the final game of the day.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, St Helens, the only team they've lost to this season is COB, and the only team that I think COB are scared of or worried about, if that's a better word, is St Helens. So it's going to be a great matchup. These two teams know each other really well. They know what their assets are. They know where their weaknesses are. It's going to be a really interesting game to start with in this game. I can't wait to see what Martin brings to the table for COB, and I can't wait to see what Connor brings for St Helens.
Well, there is the team sheet, starting with the St Helens Saints, and of course BBL experience all across the floor. Momisino Latrinovic, Disraeli Lupadeju, Connor Mercer amongst them.
Yeah, I mean, Connor especially is the standout, I think, on the St Helens team. He kind of has a green light. I watched the London Elite game, and he's not afraid to take a shot. He's never seen a shot that he doesn't like, is what I would say.
And the Birmingham Rockets team will hopefully get that team sheet up in just a second. Division 2 league leaders in a way. The league leaders, the #1 seed going into it. Apparently the team sheet was actually already on there. We just went straight to St Helens, but again, with people like Kane King, Martin Gale, Sam Tolawasi, a lot of experience in there.
A whole lot of experience, especially with Sam being playing at Hemel Storm and being the experienced presence inside that he is. Still, I think he's 37 now, and he's still getting up and he's still doing reverse dunks. So his athleticism hasn't shied away at all. Kane's a really good point guard. I tried to snap him up and try again to come play at Titans at the start of the season, but he didn't really sign with COB. So we lost out there. He's a great floor general. He knows where his players are and he knows how to operate on the court. So it's going to be a really tough matchup, I think, today.
Starting fives for the two teams, starting with the Rockets, Kane King, Michael Gale, Ronald Aberia, Martin Gale, and Luke Okasimi. For the St Helens Saints, Will Self, Kevin Ozamilam, Connor Murta, Shamani Simmons, and Israeli Lufa-Deju. Just been told actually that there is no Sam Tolawasi in the lineup today, so a big loss. Exactly, yeah, big loss for St Helens. They certainly kept that one quiet.
Yeah,
or Birmingham kept that quiet, but a big loss for the Birmingham Rockets. No Sam Tolawasi.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I'm very, very surprised that there's no Sam. However, they have got a great wing player that can be an X factor. He top scored in the semi-final, and that's Ronald Obiero. I played against him last season, and he was the guy that we kind of zoned in for when playing against Team Birmingham, Team Birmingham Elite. We zoned in on stopping Ronald and kind of got through both of those games by stopping him. But he could be an X factor in this game going forward. He's athletic. He's not afraid to go up in contact. So I can't wait for this game to start.
Highly anticipated Division Two final between these two teams. Of course, the City of Birmingham Rockets got here by beating the Worcester Wolves 70-55. St Helens Saints won at Division Two South winners London Elite on the road by 78 points to 69. And here we go, and the Saints have the first possession. Inside to Self, who lays it in. And Will Self, who's a good three-point shooter for the season, leads the team with 39%, showing his inside prowess there as Kane King on the turnaround misses everything.
I think the thing here for COB is to not get wrapped up in the occasion. St Helens like to play fast, they like to play physical. COB needs to relax and just take their shots and make the right shots.
Here is Self again with the floater, and away come the Rockets with Martin Gale. Gale just slowing the play down, a pull-up jumper, and that's money.
That's a Martin Gale special there, a mid-range pulley.
Of course, last season with Team Newcastle, and his old teammate as Self puts up a three. Driving inside, blocked! Big block there from Okasimi. And here is Gale. Gale, step back three, short. Kane King comes up with the loose ball and Rockets will reset.
Yeah, Kane will do that a lot today. He's a pest on the offensive glass. He'll grab at least 3 or 4 today, minimum.
2 to shoot, so King's got to put up something. Long two is off right. And we were talking about Martin Gale, of course, former Newcastle player last season. His old teammate Naz Abu Ramadan is in the building today. Of course, Naz will be playing for the Worthing Thunder tomorrow in their final in Div 1 against the Hemel Storm. He's here cheering on his old teammate and friend. Here is Murta. Murta puts in a three.
That's going to be a key for COB. They can't allow him to have that much space to be able to just walk into his own shot. Connor's a great three-point shooter, and if they don't get a hold of that quick, this game could get away from them.
Iberia finds Gale. Gale on the turnaround pull-up, and that's short. And away comes Lufa-Deju, the former Cheshire Phoenix player. And I think that will be goaltending.
Yeah, he was on his way down.
Yeah, absolutely. And that basket.
Yeah,
from Odowebu will count.
Yeah, it was. That was a great find from Rafa Deja. It was a beautiful find to just lead his man to the basket. Lister, that's for the St. Helens.
Kevin Ozamilan with the bucket there. Excuse me.
Oh, apologies, Kevin there. I think for Luke, for COB, he's an athletic big, but he needs to make some time in there with those blocks.
Gale steps inside, puts up a mid-range jumper and nails it.
Don't let Martin get hot.
Here is Murta. Of course, a lot of attention will be on Connor Murta today for sure. And inside the pass from Okasimi, not really finding anyone, and inside Iberia, and that'll be out of bounds, and Rockets, I think, will keep possession. In fact, a foul has been called.
He's going to hate me, but that pass looked a little bit like a Ray's shot from London Elite.
No doubt Ray Aquafury will probably be watching this game, of course. He so close to being in the final here today with London Elite, but unfortunately for them, St Helens Saints came marching into the capital and are playing in this final as Ronald Iberia gets off the mark from the foul line. Of course, Ronald Iberia, 21 points, 6 rebounds against the Worcester Wolves in the semi-final, and an explosive player when given the opportunity. Ozzy Milam inside those glass.
I think already you can see that Sam Talawasi not being in the middle of the paint for COB is a big factor. St Helens have seen that and they're going straight into the paint every single time down the floor. That's their first option, is in the paint.
Gale finds Iberia, the extra pass to Kane King was picked by Self, and inside Lufa Deju.
Yeah,
you can see Martin Gale just staring at Iberia there.
He didn't understand what the decision was there, and I think that's the thing for COB. With Kane at the helm, they need to kind of just relax and just run some sets, not rush things, not play the occasion and make the occasion play them, or make the team play them, not the occasion.
Daly puts in a long two.
And he let him know about it afterwards.
And Iberia with the steal.
Here we go.
And in transition, Spire with the hammer.
Raise the roof, Ronald, raise the roof.
Ronald Iberia, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-point game midway through the first period. Saints up 11-9. Lufa Deju marked by King. Inside to Murta. Murta loses the ball away. Again come the Rockets with Iberia. And a foul called. Ronald Iberia really getting after it in the early going.
Yeah, he got that look from Martin, and I think he's just turned the switch, and he's figured things out in the last couple of plays. But again, as I said, St Helens are looking for that inside post. They're looking for that inside entry pass. And I think they just forced it a little bit on that turnover there. Rather than looking for the right shot, they tried to look for the shot that they've been told to look for.
Daniel Miller checking in to the game for the first time for the Saints. Will Self will take a seat. Here is Iberia going inside, attacking, and he's going to go to the foul line. And Shamari Simmons, that'll be his first foul of the game.
It's a great reaction from Ronald. Since that turnover, he's been the focal point for COB, so it's a great reaction. It's the right reaction to have any young kids out there watching the game. When you make a bad decision, it's the reaction that counts, and the reaction from Ronald has been positive.
As Iberia makes the first foul shot. If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome everyone. Of course, the NBL Division 3 final saw Milton Keynes get the better of UEL Lions, and the Sheffield Hatters retained their WNBL Division 2 playoff title with a win over the City of Birmingham Rockets. So the men's team looking to restore the pride within the Rockets here today in the Division 2 final. As Carl Teasdale checks in to the game for the first time for the Rockets. Simmons finds Ozamilan. Back to Simmons. Shot clock winding down. Got to put up something. Good defense from the Rockets. And the ball does hit the rim. Or the referee thought it hit the rim. In fact, a foul was called.
And you can see there, Martin's happy because the foul was on Connor.
Yeah.
And that's clearly something that they're going to try and do, is get Connor into foul trouble and get Connor out of the game. They believe that Connor's the focal point. Get Connor out of the game, and it gets easier for them down the stretch.
Second in the second division in points at 23.1 points per game. Connor Murta at 22 in the semi-final win against London Elite, and a foul called on the floor as Connor Murta was driving to the hoop.
Yeah, Connor did something really well there. He managed to trap the forearm of his defender, and that was what caused the contact, initiated even more contact, and the referees gave the foul.
.4:22 remaining in the first period. We're all tied up at 11. Here is Simmons. Ufadaju finds Connor Murta, and his corner three agonisingly out. And Kane King running into a bit of trouble. He's got to kick it out, but instead gets it over the timeline in the nick of time. Gale a three.
That's what I mean about Kane King being a floor general. He saw the trap and didn't care. He wants to get dribbled through it, find the open man, and make the right shot.
Ufadaju inside. Great find for Simmons. And Shamari Simmons being effective in the early going. That was his first field goal as a foul is called on the floor, and that is on Connor Murta. That is his second foul.
Yeah, I think he might go to the bench now and get a break. Be interested to see if he stays out there. He's staying out there. That's a surprise there. Surprise call there from the coach. Yeah. And the timeout's been called.
Timeout has been called. Luke Gosney will look to check in just a bit. Yeah. Rockets lead by 1 with 3:41 remaining. It's what we expected from this Division 2 final. It's been scrappy, it's been physical, and it's been fairly even.
For sure. I mean, there was a little run. I thought if COB don't get a hold of the game here, it could run away from them right at the start of the game. But they regrouped, they re-established themselves, and made it a tight game going forward into the next after the timeout. I think what St Helens are going to do here now, I think their coach is going to draw up a play for them, say this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to get an option open. I think Martin and Jordan for COB just need to collect themselves and say, look, these entry passes into the paint, we need to stop them. If we can stop these entry passes and get these steals and get away in fast break layups, we'll run away with the game. And that's the key points there coming out into that first timeout.
Absolutely, and while we've got a break in play, it's been an enthralling NBL Division 2 season. Of course, Birmingham winning it alongside London Elite in the league, and it all comes down to this final game. St Helens Saints knocking off London Elite in the semi-finals, and the Rockets beating the Worcester Wolves 70-55. But what a competitive NBL Division 2 season it's been. You've been at the heart of it with the Northamptonshire Titans. Just explain how it's been this season for you.
Yeah, I mean, from 1 to 12, everyone can play. There's not anyone in the division, north or south, where they can't play. Everyone can play. Everyone's got players that can do a job and can play at a high level. So it's been competitive. It's been tough. We move forward going into next season for ourselves at Titans with a lot of optimism, a lot of hope. So again, we go again next season. We try and get out of what is the dungeon of Division 2 when we get into Division 1. But it's a tough old task.
As Carl Teasdale strings both foul shots, and the Rockets lead by 3 with 3:34 remaining in the first. Fantastic crowd here at the National Basketball Performance Centre as Lavrinovic wanted a foul, nothing doing.
It's a great bit of defense from Martin. He had his hand on the ball. He didn't move his hand from the ball. The movement was all from the attacking player, and that's why there wasn't a foul given.
Kane King driving at Lavrinovic. Kane King lays it up and in on the spin.
Lets him know he's too small for him inside as well.
Ufadaju to Murta, a long three for Connor Murta, and that just about rolls in.
I told you there's not a shot that Connor doesn't like.
King to Teasdale again along the baseline. The extra pass, Gale for 3 off the back iron, and Lavrinovic with the rebound. And here is Disraeli Lufadeju, the ex-Cheshire Phoenix man, now playing for the St Helens Saints. Inside.
I think they need to go to the next game plan, the next part of it. They're trying too hard to force that ball inside without Sam being there.
Gale over Gosney for 2, and the Rockets take a 20-16 lead.
Yeah, Martin's he's an automatic bucket. You can't allow him to get to the spots that he likes.
Lufadeju looks for Gosney inside, and Luke Gosney will go to the foul line. And for Luke Gosney, a Liverpool native, moved down south to play for the Solent Kestrels a couple of seasons ago, won the playoff league and what is now the Kick King Trophy with the Kestrels, and now back up north, closer to home, playing for St Helens and playing well in Division 2.
That's nice. Take a year out, take a trip down south, win a Triple Crown, and then go back home. Good bit of work.
Playing alongside some top stars in the British basketball scene, such as Orlan Jackman, Andre Arasol, Brendan Okoronkwo, and now plying his trade back up north with the Saints as he makes both of his foul shots.
Connor just sitting down there. They're bringing in Ramsdale. Now Ramsdale is another one. He's a three-point shooter, and he hasn't. I've never, from the games that I've seen, there isn't a shot he doesn't like.
Here is Teasdale. The extra pass to Ramsdale, Owen. And Ramsdale ran out of room, and away come the Saints with Self. Self puts up a 3. Self puts in a 3.
Tough shot, tough shot.
As said, leads the team in three-point percentage at 39% this season. Another three-pointer on the way, this time from Teasdale. And Badness and Connaughty were fighting for that loose ball, and possession arrow will go the way of the Rockets with 1:19 remaining in this first quarter, as Christian Prince will check into the game for the first time for the Rockets, and Luke Okasimi will take a seat.
Yeah, he's a very unorthodox basketball player, let me say that. There's a floater that he has that works, and you'll see it at some point today. It's unorthodox, but it works.
Gale putting the moves on Self. Contested 3 is no good. Gosney with the rebound. And Gosney just stepped out of bounds, so Birmingham will keep the possession with 1:07 remaining, and the shot clock, of course, reset to 14.
Yeah, it's just getting a little bit scrappy now. I think COB, if they can get a good offense out of this out of bounds play, that'll do them the world of good.
It's been a very scrappy and physical first quarter of play as Ramsdale kicks it out as Badness misses everything with his three-point attempt, and here is Self. Latrinovic fouled on the floor.
Hands in the cookie jar there, I think. His hands were in the cookie jar from my angle.
St Helens with a slender 1-point lead with 49.2 seconds remaining in the first period. Gosney driving. Gosney gets it to go, and a foul. Great change of speed from Luke Gosney, and now has a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, and that's a great play, but also that's 2 on Martin Gale. So it's going to be interesting how COB reckon. You can see him and Jordan now are just conversing about what the next steps are. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And it's tough for Martin. Being a player coach is tough, especially in a final like this. He's got to try and let everybody know what to do while staying in the game as well.
Badness for the Birmingham Rockets. Ramsdale driving hard, kicks it out Iberia for 3, that's long. Badmus collects the offensive board and puts it in. Few second chance opportunities for the City of Birmingham Rockets as the shot clock is turned off and St Helens will get the final possession with Miller. Miller at the foul line. And Miller misses nearly everything. Final seconds. Badmus has got to put up something. Turned over, and that'll do the first quarter of play here in Manchester. And it's everything you expected from the Division 2 playoff final. It's been scrappy, it's been physical, and the Saints lead 23-22. Nothing really to separate the two teams.
No, I think that's what has been the case all season for both teams. Both teams being at the top of the North and kind of dominating the North between themselves. The only games that St Helens lost were to the Rockets, so they want some payback. They know they've got to stay in Division 2 next season because COB won the league, so they want to kind of take something from this season, and winning the playoff final was just that. So it'll be interesting to see what COB do coming into this second quarter, simply because with Martin on 2 fouls, that's a big loss. With no Sam and Martin in foul trouble, it could get interesting for COB going down the stretch.
Martin Gale leads all scorers with 9 points so far. Connor Murta has 6 for St Helens Saints, but of course both Murta and Gale on 2 fouls. Connor Murta actually took a seat towards the latter stage of the first period, but for Martin Gale, probably time to just calm down, just be that leader that he's been all season for the Rockets and just stay out of foul trouble. That's it.
I think with Martin having the 2 fouls, if St Helens are smart, they'll try and attack Martin if he stays out there. And for COB, I think they need to play a bit more better, a bit more patient on defense. Stop looking to reach in for the fouls and just play your man straight up, and then and see what happens from that.
So Birmingham shooting 44% from the field. St Helens faring a little better, 56%, including going 3 for 5 from downtown. So very efficient first quarter for the Saints, but 1 quarter down, 3 to go. It's all to play for, and it's been very physical.
Very, very physical. But that's what you get in Division 2. It's a very physical league. Very, very physical league. If you can't bang with the big boys in D2, you've got to get through the dungeon and get through that to get into Division 1. So you've got to get in the gym.
And here's me thinking you never went to the gym.
Only in the off-season.
Only in the off-season. Here is Miller for the Saints. Latrinovic for 3, puts it in. That's a first field goal for Latrinovic. Here is Kane King to Iberia. Runs into a brick wall and blocked by Miller. And Miller comes up with it. Gosney. Latrinovic wants it again. Fakes his man, goes inside, gets it to go, and a foul.
Great recognition there. He got his man off balance and then drove straight to the basket. His man was trying to recover and made the and one. Great recognition from him there.
And Latrinovic, another one of the ex-Cheshire Phoenix players, has had so many years of BBL experience and now plying his trade with the St Helens Saints and doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's still got it. He looks like he's just playing within his team and he trusts his teammates and he makes the plays down the stretch, which is great here to make that play. Little fist bump as he makes the free throw.
And the Saints have now raced out to a 29-22 lead in the first minute of this second quarter.
Yeah.
Iberia looks for Gale and finds him. Gale looking to put the moves on Self. Final seconds as St Helens, great perimeter defense from the Saints, and at the other end, the missed layup there from Ozamilam, and here is Martin Gale and Luke Gosney diving onto the floor, and it will be a Birmingham ball.
It's little things like that, chasing after those loose balls and diving on the floor for those loose balls. It was a lost cause, the ball was going out, but it shows the passion and the effort that St Helens Saints have come with today.
Shamari Simmons checking back in, Kevin Ozamilam taking a seat. Here is King. Last few plays have seen a lot of isolation ball here as Gale feeds Prince inside. Prince couldn't get it to go. Latrinovic is feeling it from downtown. And all of a sudden, it's a 10-point lead for the St Helens Saints.
It's a 10-point lead, but this isn't unfamiliar. COB have been in this situation before. They were down 17 during the season to St Helens and brought it back in overtime, I believe. So they've been in this position before. St Helens have been on these runs before, so it'll be interesting to see the reaction from COB.
King, the extra pass. And the 2 is good for Nathan, for Reece Daly. And
that was a great steal.
Yeah, away come the Rockets again. Here is King. Oberia for 3, gets it to go. Some great scores there for the Rockets. And a timeout has been called. Coach Dominic O'Neill has seen enough. And after trailing by 10, Rockets now coming back into it and now only trail by 5.
That's it. They've got the weapons offensively. If it's a 10-point lead, a 15-point lead, they've got the weapons offensively to get themselves back in the game. The one thing St Helens there is in that transition, there was a broken play and they didn't kind of scramble. Sometimes you have to scramble and just find the man. Don't worry about if it's your man or not. Just get to the man that's got the ball and stop the shot or stop an easy look. And that's kind of where it broke down for them in that possession there.
And Momosilo Latrinovic now on 9 points, leading the way for the Saints. More than, he has been the absolute instigator in this run that St Helens have had in the second quarter, leading by 5. Their biggest lead so far, 10 points.
Yeah, he's a shooter, that's for sure. He trusts in his shot and he's made key shots for St Helens coming down the stretch. It'll be interesting to see if Murtaugh comes back in the game out of this timeout and what they run coming out of this timeout. So I think COB had the right reaction just then. They went down. They was down 10 points, got it back to 5. It's the right reaction. It's the right attitude to have. Both teams are playing with passion and with pride. It's looking like it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be a good game, a great advert for English basketball.
Latrinovic at the moment 2 for 2 from downtown, leading all scorers with 9 alongside Martin Gale, who also has 9. Of course, Martin Gale actually struggled in the semi-final against Worcester, was only 3 for 17 from the field in that game. Here is Lufa Deju inside to Simmons. Misses the layup though. Got to make them. And Martin Gale has the rebound. Here is King. Oberia again for 3. Again, Ronald Oberia. Back-to-back threes. This time at the other end.
See, I was saying he could be the X factor for this COB team, and he's proving that fact already.
Lufa Deju loses his footing, finds Self.
Great defense from Kane there as well. He moved his feet back and just allowed the momentum there to drop out.
Simmons to Lufa Deju, the extra pass to Latrinovic, the turnaround jumper. Such a smooth release, but that 2 was short.
That was most definitely I'm feeling myself shot.
Gale putting the moves on Gosney. Gale short with his 3. And Shamari Simmons has it. Here is Self. Self stolen away by Daly. Here is Daly at the foul line. No good.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't go lay the ball up there. He had the open jumper, but he had the whole lane to himself as well. Just go make the layup and get your team back to level score.
Simmons in and out with his long 2 attempt. And here is King. Just around 4 minutes played in the second quarter. Kane King misses the layup, fights with Simmons for the loose ball. Here is Latrinovic. Putting the moves on Iberia. Extra pass to Self.
Great
Simmons
rebound.
Picks up the loose ball and
Great
puts
rebound.
it in and 1.
Fantastic rebound.
Shamari Simmons showing what he is worth. So far, that's a first foul on Simon Hoare. And Simon Hoare will actually take a seat now. Luke Okasimi will take will come back into the game. 5:55 remaining in the half.
Just a point there, to get a rebound over the top there against someone that is a personal trainer and is literally made out of granite is even more impressive.
Samari Simmons makes the resulting free throw and the Saints lead by 5. And Samari Simmons now will take a seat. And here is Oberia, misses the layup. On the follow was Okasimi, who misses the layup as well. Here is Lufa Deju. Here is Murta, puts in a 3. Connor Murta from downtown. He now moves on to 9. Gale inside. Gale goes glass.
The one thing St Helens don't want to do is leave any of their men on an island with Martin. It's kind of a mismatch. He lives for the one-on-one game.
He now moves on to 11 points, leading all scorers alongside Ronald Oberia, and a foul has been called on the floor. As you see the replay, just a bit too much handsy there from Daly.
He was trying to reposition himself, and he was using the trying to push off rather than just playing with your hands out. He kept push. He was trying to just grip his forearm and get himself back in position and get in front of his man.
Here is Lufa Deju inside to Connor Murta, backing down Kane King, and that's off right. And here is Kane King. Gale. Gale loses the ball, and away came Uwidebu, and inside to Murta, and Murta scores. An 8-point lead for the Saints.
I think there's going to be a timeout for COB coming up after this next play.
Kane King loses the ball, and a foul is called at centre court. So far, though, the scrappiness and the physicality has not been lost from the first quarter, but St Helens are a bit more patient and are executing offensively right now.
I think they've got a little bit more trust in their plays. They've got a little bit more trust in their individuals to make shots. It doesn't kind of matter. You can see that in the scoring. It's quite spread across the board. You've got Lautovic with 9. You've got Murtaugh with 11. And then the rest are all chipping in with 2s and 5s and 4s across the board. So they share the ball and they look for the right option rather than their own shot. They're looking for the best shot for the team.
You see the highlights from the stages of the second quarter, and Ronald Oberia with 2 threes in the second quarter, and liking the big man play from Shamari Simmons there, Will. Almost reminiscent of you in your younger days, no?
Yeah, let's say that. Let's say that. But yeah, no, it was a nice, a big man to big man. That's a great move inside. Grabbed the rebound, took one power dribble, straight back up and one. Beautiful to see.
And Connor Murta there with the short 2. He has 11 points. As said, second in WNBL Division 2 in points, averaging 23 points a game. Actually leads the team in steals as well at 2 a game. Last season in Division 3 averaged 32 points a game as the St Helens Saints got promoted to Division 2. 4:19 remaining in the half. Oberia misses everything with the 3.
It was good defense. It was good chase out defense there. They put their hand across his eyesight, but so it just disrupted him a little bit on that shot, which is why it went a bit so wayward.
St Helens so far shooting 53% from the field. Birmingham in comparison 41. King King inside, beautiful pass, and the finish from Okasimi.
Kane immediately looked where Connor was on the court, didn't care about anything else. He wanted to see exactly where Connor was on the court.
That's the 4th assist for Kane King, in and out with the 3 for Murta. And here is King with the ball. Gale. Extra pass to Berrier, liking that corner 3, and that's why. 3rd 3 of this second period for Ronald Berrier, and all of a sudden the Rockets have brought it to within 3 points. Timeout, Coach O'Neill for the St Helens Saints. A good spell though from COB.
Yeah, the thing with COB is, again, like I was saying for St Helens, they're trusting each other to make shots, and Ronald's been trusted with that corner 3. That's his go-to shot, and he's hit it well today. So they're going to try and feed the hot hand, and that's the thing that needs to stay with, is feed the hot hand. Don't just force shots, find the hot hand and keep it going, and ride that wave until it cools off, and then you find the next option.
And hopefully we can see the capacity here at the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester. A fantastic crowd as we showcase the best of British basketball here in Manchester. It is playoff finals weekend, 10 teams battling for 5 titles, playoff titles, and so far we have seen the Milton Keynes Breakers win the Division 3 playoff championship. We have seen the Sheffield Hatters claim back-to-back WNBL Division 2 playoff titles, as you see on the screen. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Basketball England YouTube channel, and it's all to play for here in the Division 2 playoff final. 3:41 remaining as the St Helens Saints lead by 3, and here is Lufa Deju for the Saints, number 14. Murta being guarded by King. Murta drives inside, and Kane King with the rebound, and straight away in transition, here is King. King on the spin, and Kane King will go to the foul line.
Yeah, Oladesh was asking about the hook, and I'm inclined to agree with him. Kane's a master of the dark arts and knows how to position himself against the bigger player and knows where to go. There's a great little bit of footwork from Kane there to get himself the foul and go to the line.
And Kane King, who of course spent the majority of his Division 1 career with the Derby Trailblazers, spent half a season down south with the Worthing Thunder, and spent the COVID season with the Leicester Warriors, a 60% foul shooter for the season. And misses both. Here is King though. Daylight inside. Kane King says thank you very much.
They were too worried about the perimeter and worried about Martin on the perimeter rather than what was behind them. It's a bit of miscommunication there for St Helens.
Kane King certainly a pass first, shoot second type of guard. Here is Gosney. Inside to Murta. Murta a little bit off balance when he took that shot. Here is Martin Gale.
It's Kane. Kane's unsettling when he plays defense. He unsettles people and gets them out of their rhythm.
Certainly known for his defensive prowess, Kane King. Here he is going inside, driving at Murta, and the Rockets now take a 1-point lead with 2:30 remaining.
If Kane's what beats you in an offensive game, that's something you can kind of live with, but don't let him get hot, because then he will start finding his range from outside. Daniel
Miller running out of room, but St Helens Saints will keep the possession. Miller actually had 12 points on 4 for 7 shooting against London Elite in the semi-final.
Yeah, he got hot really quickly from behind the arc, I believe, as well, and just found his shots. Kind of hurt London Elite when they was on a run. He kept coming back with back-breaking shots.
Yeah, some brilliant defense there.
2:23 remaining in the first half here in the final game of what has been an enthralling day of action. Lufa Deju misses the 3, and Latrinovic comes up with the offensive board. Gosney a 3. Gosney hits the top of the backboard, and King comes up with it. Good hustle there from Reece Daly.
Yeah, Reece, I thought he got fouled there on that rebound as well. It was a great hustle.
Gale, a contested three over
Great rebound.
Gosney. Here is Gale again at the second attempt, and that's no good either. Lufa-Deju almost lost the handle, has to pick up his dribble, and Miller will have it. Latrinovic, a contested three, no good. Gosney fights for the offensive board, and Daly collects the loose ball. Here comes Iberia at the other end for the Rockets. Offensive foul called. Great know-how there from Daniel Miller.
Yeah, I do enjoy myself a rebound, so it's nice to see some of these tough rebounds being made. Ronald kind of picked up the dribble a bit too early there, went into his Euro. Great positioning there on the defensive end.
That's a first foul on Ronald Iberia with 1:25 remaining. He has 14 points. Lufa-Deju inside. Gosney. Latrinovic wide open for three.
So you can see Martin and Kane having a conversation there. Martin saying, why don't you get out to him? Kane saying, if he's going to hit that, he's going to hit that. And I think that's the wrong attitude to have. Kane should have just rushed out there and just put off the shot a little bit.
Third three-pointer of this game for Momicello Latrinovic. Here is Iberia driving inside. 4 to shoot. Got to put up something. Gale for three. Off the back iron. And Lufa-Deju has it. Final 40 seconds of this half. And Lufa-Deju fouled by Daly.
I would love to know what Lufa-Deju's fouled on per game is, because he buys fouls in transition over and over and over again. He's a big body and he's got beautiful control of the basketball when he's going in transition and he's going downhill.
Carl Teasdale waiting to check in, and Reece Daly will take a seat. And talk about three-point shooters. Another good three-point shooter is Carl Teasdale, 32% from downtown this season, and he's pulled the trigger a few times in this game.
Yeah, between him and Rabsdale Owen, those are the guys off the bench for COB that they look to get them some shots to get back into a game if they are trailing, or to kind of break the backs of their opponents if they're looking for those extra shots. And those two are clips down from behind the arc.
Lufa-Deju makes the second, and the Saints lead by 3. Teasdale nearly had it stolen by Gosney. Rockets still have it, and here is Gale putting the moves on Lufa-Deju. Loses the ball, still has it. 7 to shoot. Gale driving inside. Teasdale a three. Splash!
As if on cue.
Bodies on the floor. Offensive foul on Luke Gosney.
We talked about Kane being a master of the dark arts. I think Martin just brought himself one as well there.
Well, Martin Gale he's been around the block a few times, hasn't he? Former BBL player himself with the Manchester Giants and the Cheshire Phoenix.
Yeah, Martin's a great player, great guy as well.
Final seconds of the half as Kane King misses the floater, and that ends the first half of action here at the National Basketball Performance Centre. It's all tied at 44 apiece. Latrinovic leading the way for St Helens with 12 points, leading all scorers. Ronald Iberia with 14, but it's everything we hoped for and more right now, and it's all tied up at 44.
Exactly that. It's done exactly what it says in the tin. It's been an entertaining, physical game so far. It'll be interesting to see what both coaches draw up in the halftime break, and what they didn't like and what they did like, and what they're going to try and go to for the next bit. So I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm enjoying watching this game. It's a great game, great physicality.
And just finally as well, we talk about how even it's been with the scorers. 44% from the field for both teams in the half. It's very evenly placed if you look at the stats.
That's it. I mean, for both of them, for both teams as well, they're both they know each other's games, so they know where the weaknesses are, they know where their strengths are. So it's kind of like, even though they know each other, it's still a blank slate because they know each other that well, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So as Will joins Darren for the halftime report, as you can see on the screen there, and I'm going to be left on my own. You can see the halftime highlights. It is all tied up in the NBL Division Two playoff final. City of Birmingham Rockets 44, St Helens Saints 44, and it's all over to you, Darren.
Like John says, we're tied at 44 in the National Basketball Performance Centre. The City of Birmingham Rockets and the St Helens Saints treating us to, well, an absolute thriller so far. A couple of the key individuals. Now for me, when I saw his name on a team sheet, I knew we were in for something special. The Iceman. I call him Chiller Latinovic, the cooler.
Yes, he's been a bit. What's the word? He's come to play. That's the right thing to say. He's a big time player. He's got a lot of experience. Been around the block. He knows exactly what it is to be in this sort of situation. So he's led the way for St Helens, and he's kind of showed this is what it is to be here. You make your shots, and we go from there.
Absolutely, international basketball player, BBL talent as well. Dad life is working well for him. He's nailing those 3-point plays.
He's staying with what he knows. He's hitting his shots and he knows what he's doing. The interesting part of that was Conor Murtagh being in foul trouble. That was the next part for me for St Helens. That kind of just disjointed them a little bit coming into the next quarter.
Now, I think let's reset. Let's restart. Let's just look at who we have in this matchup. We got the St Helens Saints 20-2 on the year, second in the north, the 3 seed throughout the playoff picture. Of course, Conor Murtagh, their main man, 1 points per game throughout the regular season. Just what an impact has he had on this team and on this game?
Yeah, I mean, he averaged 32 last season in D3, coming into this year averaging 23, 24 points a game. He's their vocal point. He's their go-to guy. He's the one they down the stretch. Who we're going to give the ball to? Who we're going to feed to? It's Conor. There's not a shot like that he sees on the court that he doesn't like. He'll take anything. If he's got the ball in his hands, it's a good shot. That's the mentality he has. And for St Helens to have that sort of mentality with a player like him, with the offensive repertoire that he has, it's great for them, because then the other players like Lufadeju, who's great in transition, can find him or can find another option like Larkovic. They're great, but with Conor being their main guy, it allows them to do so much more as a team.
Let's talk about their journey to get here. Quarterfinals, they took on the 6th seed Ipswich. They took down the 6th seed Ipswich 109-75. What a performance. And again, Murtagh, the main man, 22 points. Joe Lister off the bench with 19 points. And the Iceman Latinovic, 16 points in that contest. That's a scoring load from 3.
Yeah, that's their 3 main guys. But I mean, I played against Ipswich this year, and I was surprised that the gap was as much as it was.
Yeah.
Especially with like Vega Fernandez as well, who won the MVP in D2 South. It just shows that what repertoire they actually have within their team and how strong they are as a unit, and their individual players are buckets.
And then Daniel Miller coming off the bench in the semi-final against London Elite with the 12 points. The Israeli Lufadeju, I mean, doesn't need an introduction, but 14 for him in that semi-final win over London Elite, 69-78, with Murtagh, 22 points, 50% from the floor.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, we keep saying the same things about Conor. It's just he's a consistently good player. He's getting into his foul trouble here, and he's had a couple of like wayward shots, but he'll keep going. He won't worry about those shots. They're done now, so it's the next bit. So then I guarantee you'll see him pull up for 35 in the second half. So he'll keep with that mentality and he'll keep going. So Conor and Lufadeju and Larkovic, they're great players, and then it's about the rest of the guys going up to their level and making sure that they can continue.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're hitting 1 and 2, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not a bad mentality to have. It's like, oh well, I'll forget that one. I'm going to hit the next one.
Yeah, all shooters have that. All shooters have that mentality.
City of Birmingham Rockets, the number 1 seed, they were first in the north, 21-1. Greenwich Titans, they took them down in the quarterfinals, 89-69, and it was that main man Gale, 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for that game. I went to watch that game because I played against Greenwich, and I know a few of their guys, and shout out to Greenwich, great program, great bunch of guys. They were a little bit overpowered by the talent that was on the COB team at points during that game. And it was Martin doing his thing, but it was Ronald as well doing exactly what he's doing today. Kane operating and running the point. They just had a little bit too much for Greenwich in that quarter-final.
I mean, you're talking about Ronald Obiera, 22 points in the semi-final, that 70-50 win over Worcester, and we've seen him make a real impact in today's contest.
Yeah, I mean, Ronald, I said during the commentary, he's the X factor for COB. With no Sam being here today, he's the X factor, and he needs to step his game up. It'll be interesting to see what Taiwo Badmus does in the second half. He's been surprisingly quiet going into this game, and I think between him and Ronald, they could be the X factors moving forward for this COB team. Martin's going to do what Martin does. Don't get into an isolation game with Martin, because Martin, that's what Martin looks for. He looks at like that's his rice and peas. That's his chicken rice and peas, getting into that one-on-one game. And we don't want that, and St Helens definitely don't want that. COB do, but St Helens don't want that to happen.
Yeah, in the same way that when I saw Latinovic, I was like, oh, that's going to be a big one. Taiwo Badmus, I mean, he's such a talent. You know, you see him in open runs, you see him for Ireland, you've seen the career he's had. Expecting a lot from him in the second half.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to step it up in the second half. Find the right shots, I think, for him is what he needs to look at. Is finding those right shots and playing within the offense and not rushing too much and just taking the game as it comes. I'm expecting to see Ramsdale Owen in the second half hit a couple of shots down the stretch. If it gets tight, look for Ramsdale Owen to be looked for in the corners or on the 45 in the 3 situation.
So we're tied at 44. We have seen some swings in this game. St Helens Saints, they were really starting to build a nice gap. 2 minutes later, it's all gone.
That's it. I was saying on commentary, Birmingham have been in this position before with St Helens. They were down 17 at one point. And then when I spoke to them after the quarter-final game, I said, what happened in that St Helens game? And they said, they just shot from everywhere. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know who to get to. We didn't know who to scramble to, because there's just options all over the court. And so being down 17, they've been in that situation before. They just brought it back straight away. Quick layup, quick 3, down by 5. Okay, we're still in this game, let's go again. And that's the thing, is I don't think that 20 points, I don't think will be enough. I think 30 points and then the game's done. 20 points, both teams can still get back into the game. They've got enough either side.
100%. This is their 3rd meeting of the season. These two sides, both been taken by the city of Birmingham, 72-59. Their opening contest back in October, and the second one, 94-98. In January in St Helens. What a slugfest that was.
Yeah, great game. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it live, but it was a great game, and from everything that I heard, it was a tough old battle. A bit like this one today, tough battle, physical battle. Don't look for too much finesse in the second half between these two teams. It's all about who wants it more.
And the one loss that did come to City of Birmingham this year from Bristol Basketball United, 86-83. So if they're going to lose, it's not going to be by much.
No, not at all. And that Bristol team, they're a unit. They're a bit disjointed. I don't think they played together as much as they'd have liked throughout the season. They were a very good side, but I think that day was just a kind of an off day for COB. They kind of just capitulated. When I spoke to Martin about it, he said it's what happens when guys look for the wrong shot and not the right shot. So that's a great analogy. That's a great thing to say and feedback, because after that game, COB came to play for the rest of the season, and they said, right, we've had that. Let's go back to what we know that works, and let's get ourselves through the rest of the season, win this league, and get ourselves a chip at the end of it in the playoff final.
Yeah, it's like, right, that's your one. Let's go again.
Exactly that.
So talking about this contest and the pace of play.
Yes.
The energy.
Yep.
Just talk us through what you've experienced.
That's Division 2 basketball.
Yes.
That's Division 2 basketball. It's fast, it's powerful, it's
intensity.
That's the word. It's very intense. It's very intense. You can't slack off for a single play. No. There was a couple of plays on both sides where guys didn't get out to their men, and if it wasn't the coach for St Helens or it wasn't Martin for COB reacting and looking at that guy, there was a turnover for Ronald in the first quarter. He turned the ball over. All I saw was Martin just glare straight at him, looked at him, they made eye contact, Ronald made a layup and they made a 3. That's the right reaction. I was saying on commentary, if you're a young player, it's the reaction that you give is positive. As long as it's positive and you get the right things out of it, it doesn't matter about the negative that happened before. And that's Division 2. If you got the right attitude, you'll succeed.
4:36 before we head back to the second half. What have been the keys so far for St Helens?
For St Helens, I mean, they've had obviously Lautovic has come in and he's hit his shots, and Connor's hit his shots, which we know was going to happen anyway. But what I've been surprised by was players like Simmons, and I'm surprised that Lautovic was only on 3 points. If Lautovic starts the second half and ends up on 15 by the end of the third quarter, don't be surprised. For COB, on the other hand, I think if St Helens can stop Ronald, that's going to be a key factor. And if they can make Martin take tougher shots, that's going to be the main thing, I think. COB just have to kind of play their game and not get drawn into the slugfest that's been happening so far.
Yeah, is there anything defensively you're hoping to see out of both sides? And we'll start with COB. Anything defensively you want to see them switch up this second half?
I want to see Kane go 94 feet, to be honest. I want to see Kane go 94 feet. I believe if he can go 94 feet and pressure defence, he'll get some turnovers off it. But I also want to see St Helens play some better trap defence. There's a couple of times they tried to trap, or they looked at the trap and kind of thought against it and kind of came away from it when it was there. Kane should never be allowed, as a point guard, when you're trapping, he should never be allowed to have both guys around him and still dribble out of it. They should have locked that down, got the ball back and kind of made a layup. So I want to see a little bit of better defence in the trap from St Helens, and I want to see some more full court pressure defence from COB.
And in terms of any of the key individuals that we're expecting to see in the second half, who maybe hasn't shone in the way we'd expect, are you looking forward to maybe step up?
I want to see Taiwo Badmus do a bit more in the second half, and I'm looking and to be honest, it's love for Deju for St Helens. I want to see a bit more out of him. He's a great point guard. He looks like he knows exactly how to buy a foul for sure. He knows how to get the fouls and get to the line. But I'm expecting to see him a bit more in open play, get a few more buckets.
Now you know me, big picture kind of guy. How does this advertise our game?
For me, this shows us what English basketball is at the moment in terms of the passion and the intensity that it gets bringing. This is only Division 2. I can't wait for tomorrow when we see Division 1. We saw a great team in Milton Keynes win the Division 3. We saw a great solid veteran team in Sheffield Hatters win their playoff final earlier. And now we've got a great advert for the game in COB versus St Helens. St Helens and COB effectively are Division 1 teams. So it's really nice to see two strong D2 teams here in the final.
Very quickly before we throw over to John, I'm gonna do it. Overtime, are we gonna get that today?
Don't hold your breath that it doesn't happen. I can see it happening, to be honest.
All right, appreciate you. We're gonna head back to our commentary team of Will Reed when he gets over there, and John Hobbs.
Thank you, Darren. Just under 2 minutes to go until the start of the third quarter. All tied up at 44 apiece, and we have the reigning coach of the year in Martin Gale, obviously. And quick shout out, before we speak about that, a quick shout out to our sponsors, Wilson, SportServe, Dynamic, Sure Shot and Sport England, who have been fantastic sponsors, fantastic supporters of Basketball England and the National Basketball League. As you see, a fantastic crowd there at the National Basketball Performance Centre. And as mentioned, we speak about Martin Gale, Coach of the Year for Division 2 North, and a well-deserved accolade for Martin. Of course, he was in the Team of the Year alongside Connor Murta, as well for the St Helens Saints and Disraeli Lufa-Deju. So a lot of interest there in the individual accolades for this season on the court here tonight.
Looking at Martin and what Martin was able to do as a player coach, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to play and to coach at the same time. And for him to play and coach and guide this team the way he's guided it, and to make the Team of the Year is a massive, massive accolade. So my hat's off to him and what he's done with the programme at COB. And Conor Murta speaks for himself. He is a bucket, he's a walking bucket, especially in Division 3 and Division 2. So it'll be interesting to see if he stays at St Helens next season. Absolutely,
and I can't help but be a little bit proud of Gary Smith being Coach of the Year in the South. Of course, former Worthing Thunder coach, former Worthing Bears player now. Yeah. Teaching at Sir Robert Woodard Academy, where the Brighton Bears are based. They haven't actually been playing there for their last few games. They're actually playing over in Brighton at the Aldridge Community Centre, which is right opposite where the American Express Stadium is, where Brighton and Hove Albion play. But a great accolade, and Brighton Bears really improving in all aspects on the floor.
I mean, I want to shout out to Malachi for winning Defensive Player of the Year as well. I've got a lot of time for that young man. Great player, great guy to be around as well. And yeah, Brighton surprised me this season with how good they were. They absolutely whooped us away. It was a close game right until the end of in the home game. But yeah, great program, great coach, got his X's and O's down.
So start of the third quarter all tied at 44, and it's now 46-44 as Daly puts in the 2. Deju putting the moves on Daly, kicks it out. Ozarelan for 3.
That's bad defensive recognition. He didn't want to get beat on the dribble, so he let him take the shot. Go out and stop the shot.
Kane King. Daly back to King. Patient build-up play from the Rockets. King driving, loses the ball, but finds Oleran, and another foul has been called as Luke Okasimi will go to the foul line. First minute, and that's actually the first foul of the third period as you see the replay. Okasimi attacking the basket.
As someone who's guilty of that foul a lot, I don't understand why guys don't understand the swipe down is always going to get called.
Something you mentioned in the Division 3 final as
That's
well.
it.
And that's Kevin Ozamelan's third foul as well.
Could be interesting with him out of the game what the next option is defensively, because he's one of their defensive guys. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next for St. Helens.
Well, for now he's staying on the floor and he is guarding Oberia. And here is Ronald Oberia now for the Rockets. Kane King, a 3-pointer. He can shoot them, can Kane King, and Connor Murta with the rebound. Only his second or third rebound of this game to go along with 11 points. Self driving at the top. And that actually, I think, came off him last, it did, and now be Birmingham ball.
It was a great play, but also a lucky play, because when you're coming through here and you're putting your hands in the cookie jar, you're asking for the referee to blow the whistle. But luckily enough, Ronald got his hand in at the right time and got that and disrupted that there.
Yeah, came in from the weak side, got the steal.
Here comes the trap.
Yeah, a bit of a half-court trap here from St. Helens. Here is Daly. Gets it back from Gale. Michael Gale back into the game. Here he is on the ball for the Rockets. Michael Gale, a 3. And that's just about grazing the back of the iron. And here is Self. Latrinovic with a turnaround jumper, misses everything, but Lufa Deju has it. He's got to dance, it's 5 to shoot. Latrinovic, great defense there from the Rockets, and a 24-second violation. Great defense, especially inside, really crowding the paint and making life difficult for the Saints.
Yeah, and he, what happened there was he managed to keep himself big inside, and that was the key. Rather than biting on the up fake and giving away a cheap foul, he stood strong.
Daly all the way. And Reece Daly, who inside to Self. Self finds Murta, a corner 3. Connor Murta puts it in.
As I was saying at halftime, there's not a shot that Connor doesn't see that he doesn't like.
Gale. Iberia, a 3, looking to answer back. Self rebounds. And here is Lufa Deju. Bit of room to drive to the basket for Lufa Deju. Kicks it out to Self. Drives inside, a short jumper. And Daly tips it to Iberia, who's now off to the races. Iberia finds a bit of room, gets it to go.
A little bit of contact as he went through on that step through there from Connor, so Connor's lucky there to get away with that, and they didn't give him a third foul.
16 points now for Ronald Iberia, leading all scorers. Lufa Deju, a 3. He wanted a foul, it came off the back iron.
Yeah, he was trying to buy that one, I think.
Gale looking for Daly, but finds no one but Will Self. Ball goes out of bounds, it'll stay with St. Helens. Both teams not afraid to fight for that loose ball, and any inkling that a player turns his back and they're onto him.
Yeah, it's intense and it's passion. And it's physical out there. It's very, very physical out there. You can see a few guys already breathing heavy, and we're only 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this third quarter.
Not to mention there'll be 10 more minutes after this. The final game of what has been an incredible first day of action, and we've got 2 more games tomorrow afternoon as the Division 1 finals take centre stage here at the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester. Murta over King. Good find there too. Ball goes out of bounds. It was a good find to find Ozamilan, but he couldn't quite hang on to it. St Helens still hang on to the ball with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
The physicality is raising again, if that's possible. It is raising again inside. It's very, very physical inside.
Latrinovic has got to put up something.
As
Great
you see
defense there from Okasimi, and away comes Michael Gale. Teasdale to King, inside to Okasimi, and hammers it home.
Yeah, Connor thought twice about that one. He's aware of his foul trouble. He swiped and then moved himself away.
Lufa Deju. Fiercely competitive game to round off the day. Latrinovic for 3, and we're all tied up at 53.
That was a tough shot.
He's been doing that all throughout his career here in England. Martin to Michael Gale. Okasimi wanted to replay what he did in the last possession, but the ball goes out of bounds. As Daniel Miller will check in alongside Nathan Coherty.
It looks like the coach is bringing in some shooting here for St Helens, trying to stretch this out and with some length as well.
Here is Martin Gale. Stolen away, Latrinovic comes up with it. Latrinovic inside to Miller, Miller inside, and with 5'9" Michael Gale, the only player back, that was only going to end one way. Teasdale driving at Latrinovic, that's tough from Teasdale.
Tough move there. He recognised the mismatch and the foot speed and went straight to work. Great recognition there.
Lufa Deju inside, the extra pass, Miller a 3. And that's off. Kane King extends at full length for the rebound.
Tried to force the pass, didn't need to.
Connor Murta, Lufa Deju, 3-on-1. And a miscommunication, and the ball goes out of bounds, and Kane King will take the plaudits for that.
Yeah, my mouth is open at the fact that happened. He tried to be fancy and do a no-look pass when it's 55-55. I know that my coach would be going absolutely insane if he was to see something like that right now.
4:09 remaining in the third. Inside again, Okasimi.
They're wanting a tech for a hold on to the ball, but I think his momentum carried him through there.
Well, we just have a few issues with our score graphic. It is 57-55 to the Rockets with 4 minutes to go, not 11:80 as it says there. We're all entitled to it. So while we just quickly fix that, 3:55 remaining, 57-55. Coherty loses the ball. Kane King, uncontested layup.
Kane's defense is stepping up again. Yeah.
And I think a double dribble, double dribble has been called on Coherty.
And again, that's Kane. That's Kane's presence made him double check where he was going to pass that ball. He saw Kane come past him, saw Kane was in the passing lane, and it made him make that mistake.
Good spell this from the City of Birmingham Rockets, up by 4, 59-55. And as you said, it's all stemming from Kane King's influence on the defensive end. And he's, as you see on the replay, got an easy layup for himself in the process.
I mean, I'll be asking him why he didn't dunk it after the game, but Yeah, it's a nice little lay. And then if you see here, Kane goes back into picture. We just lost the replay. But Kane cuts across his vision, and it makes him just double check whether or not he's going to make that pass, which forced that turnover.
And for St Helens, a bit of a blip. They've been on top for probably the slight majority of this game. Of course, Birmingham had the lead a few times as well. But as you see the replay on the big screen of Kane King's layup there, St Helens have been on top for the slight majority of this game. This is a bit of a blip for them at the moment, so it's a good timeout for Coach O'Neill. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, I was saying during the halftime talk with Darren, Birmingham have been in situations where they've been down by 17 points to St Helens. So they have the faith they can bring it back. So it's not something that they're scared of. They can go down by 10 and still have that belief system that they're going to get back into the game. So now it's going to be a recognition for St Helens to see if they can get themselves out of the mud and fight through.
Well, St Helens have been up by as many as 10 points in this game. Birmingham's biggest lead has been 5. Here is Teesdale. Teesdale picks up his dribble, finds a barrier, shot clock winding down. A barrier of 3 short. Here is Simmons, nearly travelled with it. Self blocked by Teesdale.
I think he got away with a walk there, to be honest.
Yeah, very close. Kane King was just chatting to the referee just to clarify that. He was very close to travelling. Here is Simmons. Miller. Looking for Simmons inside.
Yeah.
And Miller was fouled. I think that was by a barrier, and if that was, that's his second, and it was.
Yeah, Ronald just had his hand in the cookie jar there, just trying to get a little poke away. Just left his hand in there rather than keeping his hands out and moving his feet. He kind of it was a little bit lazy there, trying to just poke the ball away.
Well, from shooting as much as 56% from the field, St Helens' field goal percentage has dropped to 42. Here is Connaughty at 2. And Connaughty misses, and Conor Murta battles and gets the loose ball. Inside to Connaughty, and his hook shot is too long. Here is King. King spreads it wide, welcomed by Teesdale. Here is Gale. Gale putting the moves, and the foul has been called on Shamari Simmons.
Yeah, what I'm noticing as well was when the ball's at the top of the key for Birmingham, they've got this pin down action that they look to run, and that's what's been getting Ronald open in the corners. So it'll be interesting to see if St Helens recognise that pin down and communicate it, because what that does, that pin down, is it then opens up the middle of the floor for someone to drive from the top of the key. For someone like Martin or for Kane, it's perfect. So it's a great little play that COB are running there.
Teesdale teased the 3, inside it goes, and outside to Gale. Shot clock down to 5, and Gale sees it. Pull-up jumper from just about the free throw line, and he rattles it in.
Chicken, rice and peas for Martin there. Chicken, rice and peas. Don't want to get into a one-on-one match with Martin Gale.
Latrenovic putting the moves on Gale. Great play there from Teesdale. Birmingham ball. Biggest lead of the game so far to the Rockets.
Yeah, and the reaction from the bench and from Jordan Dawes alone shows you what that meant. Those sort of plays can win you a game down the stretch. They can win you a game down the stretch, those sort of plays.
Kane King, a bit ahead of steam there, but slows it down. Gale has it. Gale wants to dance with Lufa Deju. Double team comes, and King nearly lost it. 4 to shoot. King inside, and Kane King had a lane there to actually take the shot there, but decided not to take it. 1.6 seconds left on the shot clock, so Birmingham have got to heave this.
Yeah, if you look in the dictionary next to pass first point guard, Kane King's picture will be there.
So it'll stay with the Rockets with 7/10 of a second left on the shot clock, so quite literally a catch and heave. And there is the shot clock violation. Good defense from the Saints as Conor Murta's breakaway dunk does not count. I don't even think he was aware of that.
I don't think he realised. I don't think he realised. Could he turn around looking at his teammates like, why is no one celebrating? I don't think he realised, but it's so loud in here, I don't blame him.
Fantastic noise. A lot of Birmingham's fans, a lot of St Helens fans, and even a few of the Sheffield Hatters and a lot of the women's team for the Birmingham Rockets have stayed behind to watch the men as well.
That's it.
Repaying the favour for the men watching the women as well in the game before.
And that's what it's all about for a club like COB. To have two teams in the final to support each other the way they are is great. I think there's still some MK breakers dotted around as well, taking in the whole festivities as well. So it's great to be a part of.
Absolutely great to catch up as well. Off screen, it was good to catch up with Milton Keynes, one of the Milton Keynes coaches, Rob Crump, who
Northampton boy.
Yeah, Northampton boy who has been to a fair few Euro baskets with the Great Britain national team, but as a fan, I know that because I actually stayed with him in Lithuania for a few days before he went home, and I went on to Vilnius for the second round. Great memories there were.
Yeah, Rob's good people. He's a good guy. He's got himself a great situation working within the Milton Keynes programme.
Here is Martin Gale putting the moves on Luther Deju. Loses the ball, but a foul has been called, and you can see the groans from the St Helens Saints fans, and especially Latrinovic as well.
Yeah, I think that was more. That was more on Luther Deju than it was on Lavinovic, because Martin's lost the dribble, but he's tried to power himself past Luther Deju, and then his hands are kind of blocking him, and that's what I think's been called.
King a pull-up two, and he gets it to go.
Kane's just looked at me and smiled, because I've been telling him to trust in that jumper.
Well, he's a pass first, second, shoot second point guard. Well, traditionally over the years. Luther Deju to Murta. Murta a three, misses everything. Miller inside, Miller banks it home. Risky inbound pass there from Gale, but he gets away with it.
Kane looks like he's having fun now. He feels like he's in his flow.
Same spot, and not the same result, but Iberia with another offensive rebound for the Rockets. King inside, and here is Miller. 11 offensive rebounds now in this game for the City of Birmingham Rockets. Here is Luther Deju. Finds a bit of room inside, and offensive foul's been called. Great play there from Cole Teasdale, anticipating exactly what was happening and where Miller was going.
The issue for me there is Luther Deju's collapsed the defense.
Where Luther Deju was going, excuse me.
Luther Deju's collapsed the defense there, and he's got a man wide open in the corner. And rather than find him, he's kind of force it himself and go up for the layup. As a point guard at this level, you can't think when you collapse defense that you're going up for the bucket. You've got to look for your open man and make the right choice.
Iberia driving at Latrinovic, and Latrinovic with the rebound. And that'll do for the third quarter. And it's still all to play for in this third period. But Birmingham Rockets, having trailed for the slight majority, hold a 63-58 lead over the St Helens Saints, but still all to play for. Yeah, all to play for. I mean, watching that quarter there, I mean, Kane's the difference. I think I was saying during the halftime, I want to see Kane go 94 feet on defense. He's not gone 94 feet, but his intensity's picked up on the defensive end. He's been a pest. He's got onto the loose balls. He's made the point guards and the guards for St Helens make poor decisions coming down the stretch, which is interesting now to see what St Helens do. Conor Murtaugh's gone a bit quiet. He hit that 1-3 when he came back into the game, but he's been very quiet through the rest of that quarter. And I think St Helens kind of need to get themselves a bit settled, run a couple of their go-to options, a couple of motion options, their go-tos throughout the season, and kind of get some easy buckets and go forward. You say Conor Murtaugh's been a bit quiet, but still has 14 points and 6 rebounds in this game, and Martin Gale with 13 points, 5 rebounds. Ronald Iberia leading the way with 16 points and 6 rebounds. But it's been a very balanced scoring effort on both sides of the floor here today, as you see the highlights from the third, and Kane King with the pull-up 2. That was money all day.
That was a nice shot there from Kane. But again, you don't want to let Martin get into that sort of options there, where he's getting into those pull-ups or that one-on-one game. So it'll be interesting now coming into this last quarter. What defensive assignments St Helens put on who, and how Kane comes in. If Kane can set the tone again, I think COB might have this in the bag. But St Helens need to react now in the first couple of minutes of this last quarter. They need to come out strong.
Absolutely, and they'll need Conor Murtagh firing on all cylinders in this final quarter. As you said, a little quiet in that third period for Conor Murtagh after a very strong start.
Yeah, we'll say he's got 14 points, so we'll say quiet for Conor.
Well, with the averages he's had this season, you know that is quite quiet, isn't it? As Miller loses the ball, but St Helens will keep possession.
But again, it's great defense. He's using his body and he's allowing the contact to come on his body. He's moving his feet backwards and his hands are active. Beautiful defense.
Murtagh putting the moves on Daly. Tough three for Murtagh, but that's long.
Great
Simmons
rebound.
fighting for it again over Hoare and gets it to go. Teasdale driving along the baseline. Here is Hoare. The extra pass, great anticipation there from Daniel Miller.
Yeah, Martin's just saying to some of his guys, just calm. Just take a breath. Like, don't be so readable. That last pass there was very, very readable. He was looking straight at Martin, and his defender knew it.
Here is Teasdale driving along the other side. Offensive foul called.
As a big no, but I can understand why it was called. He's kind of moved his motion towards him. He's dribbled a hand off the ball, and then he's made a slight motion towards him, and that's why he's been called for the foul on that screen there.
First foul on Christian Prince today. Lufa Deju. Inside to Simmons. Fakes his man, goes inside, and Prince falls to the floor. And an unsportsmanlike foul has been called.
It's Lufa Deju.
And I think,
That's his fourth.
It is Lufa Deju. No, it's not. It's on Simmons.
Oh.
It's on Simmons. That's his third.
That's frustration. If the foul's been given on him and it's that contact on the low arm there, that's frustration from not making the easy bunny there.
And as a result, Prince misses the resulting free throw. Still has another foul shot to come, and Rockets will get possession. Christian Prince misses both.
I was saying he's got an odd form to it, but if you watch that, if he gets his floater going, it's impossible to guard.
Nearly another turnover there.
Active hands.
Absolutely, and here is Prince inside. Offensive foul called on Prince. That'll be his second. Feels like the longest minute of basketball I think we've ever witnessed. It's still haven't even played a minute of this fourth period.
And I like that COB there in this fourth quarter have gone through two bigs in 54 seconds, and there's been no moaning, no kicking off. They've just gone, okay, come out, let's get the starting big back in, and let's support my teammates. Great attitude to have.
Lufa Deju finds a bit of room inside, and Simmons misses the layup. Lufa Deju has the offensive board. Here is Simmons again for a second chance, blocked. Miller finds a bit of room inside, and that's long. The block was from Okasimi, who's actually ranked third in the league for blocks this season at 1.7. Gale inside, he blows the layup inside.
But that's Luke being active that gets that back.
And gets it back at the second attempt.
That's all good from Luke being active on the boards there. He's a presence down low. To see why he's come straight back into the game. He's played really well today. He's been the person that surprised me the most for the city of Birmingham.
Latrinovic putting the moves on Oberio. It was a nice looking pass. I was going to find Lufa Deju, but too many Birmingham Rockets players in the way.
I think that was football from Martin there. It was again, master of the dark arts. Saw the backcourt, knew that his play was cut in and stuck his foot out.
Lufa Deju in the corner. Both teams you feel going a little cold from the field in the last minute. Rockets still lead by 5.
Yeah, I expect to see them run a set here and get a good shot.
Gale, pull up 3, money.
or let him get his chicken rice and peas and get a go one-on-one.
Over Simmons, of course, Shamari Simmons, slightly taller than Martin Gale at 6'9". Here is Simmons, looking to go back at him. Connor Murta was a risky pass, and Murta misses the layup on the follow, Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, he's not having the best game, Simmons, but he's kept going and he's had the right attitude to push forward and make sure that if he does miss a shot, he's following that shot and he's following any missed shots for his team.
9.7 rebounds for Shamari Simmons in this game, so flirting with a double-double. Gale, great defense from Miller, and away comes Connor Murta. Murta over Teasdale, thank you very much. You can sense the intensity just growing a little bit here at the Manchester National Basketball Performance Centre. Inside, Okasimi for the dunk.
It's brilliant. When you've got someone like Luke Okasimi that you can just dump the ball off in that dunker spot, it's brilliant because it collapses the defence and he's wide open and he's got a couple of those today.
Lufa Deju. Simmons sets the screen, goes for the roll, but Lufa Deju didn't need him and a foul has been called. 6:30 remaining and a third foul on Carl Teasdale.
Yeah, I think Teasdale's his height let him down there. He tried to stand big, but he was just a little bit too small to get away with what he was trying to get away with there.
Kevin Ozamilan comes back into the game for the Saints, as well as Will Self. Latrinovich and Miller will check out. Daniel Miller not looking too happy with the fact he has to take a seat. Emotions running high, you just want to be on the court and contribute to your team. We understand that.
I think it's more that than it is frustration of being subbed out.
Lufa Deju being marked by King. Here is Murta, who's been quiet in this second half by his standards. Shamari Simmons blocked by Okasimi, and away come the Rockets.
Luke Okasimi's come to play today. He's been a surprise, a good outlet of defense and offense for COB. Came with a spin.
Okasimi now with 4 blocks. Teasdale a 3. That would have been huge if it went.
But again, you see Kane's fighting after those offensive rebounds. St. Helens need to box out, and especially players like Kane and Luke Okasimi. If you can box them out, it makes your life a lot easier.
As Nathan Ramsdale-Owen checks back into the game for the Rockets. Actually the MVP of the 2021-22 season for the team. Former Worcester Wolves player. And actually shooting around 38% from downtown this season. So a handy three-point shooter, as you mentioned earlier on. For sure.
I mean, I'm just looking at the difference between the two benches, and at the moment, St. Helens just look a little bit dejected, a little bit frustrated, whereas COB, as they're up, they're a lot more active and a lot more clapping hands and making their teammates encouraged. Especially, I'm seeing over on there, you've got the coaching in Jordan Dawes. Jordan Dawes is very active at the moment.
Great steal there from Connor Murta, and away come the Saints. Oh, and Lufa Deju looking for Ozamilan, and the ball goes right out of bounds. Another miscommunication there from the Saints.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that'll be, that's their 15th turnover in this game. As Dominic O'Neill has seen enough, he wants a timeout.
Yeah, Dominic, he just pulled Lufa to the side there and just said, "It's okay, calm down. Yeah. It happens. We'll move on to the next one." And that's great coaching there, because you could see that his head was rejected. He's done it a couple of times today where he's made bad passes, so he's getting into his head a little bit. So he just gathered his boy, he just gathered his player, and got him to relax a little bit. And I think that's what it'll be in this next time out for St. Helens. He'll draw something up, something they know, something they trust, something they believe in, and get them a good offensive look. On the other side, between Martin and Jordan, I think they're going to look to just keep doing what they're doing and just manage the game now. You've got 5 minutes 22, you're up 6, manage the game, play the right way, look for the right shots, and I think they'll be there.
So, of course, this is the final game of day 1 here at the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've seen the Milton Keynes Breakers take the Division 3 title at the expense of UEL Lions. The Sheffield Hatters too claimed back-to-back WNBL Division Two playoff titles when they beat the City of Birmingham Rockets, and right now the City of Birmingham Rockets men's team up 6 on the St Helens Saints with 5:22 remaining. Of course, tomorrow afternoon it is the Division 1 playoff finals. The WNBL Division 1 final sees Cola Suffolk Pride take on the Solent Kestrels, and the Division 1 men's final sees the Hemel Storm face the Worthing Thunder. Quite a few Worthing Thunder and Hemel Storm players here in attendance that have been watching the all 3 games here today. That's good to see, as Connor Murter in the corner for 3 is short. Kane King with the rebound. Of course, Kane King, a former Worthing player, and Zaire Taylor is in attendance, obviously checking up on his old friend. Here is King on the ball now. Inside to Iberia, a short 2, no good.
Great rebound.
Inside it goes.
Great rebound.
Another offensive rebound.
Great.
And Iberia with the 2.
I love rebounding. I'm sorry. Every time I see a nice rebound, I get a little bit happy. It's a great rebound. Great passion, great execution there to go back up with a soft finish.
Luke Okasimi, another block for Luke Okasimi. That's 5 blocks now for him.
You can see in this now, with Kane with the ball, it's just a bit of calmness about COB. They're just calm. Martin's out of the game, so they've got to just be calm and just play the game the right way for these next couple of minutes till Martin gets back in.
Ramsdale in a 3 off the back iron. Iberia, who steps out of bounds. And it'll be a St Helens ball, down by 8 with 3:56 remaining. And it's getting down to that nitty-gritty now, isn't it? It's been a competitive game all through at this point, and now Birmingham are starting to pull away, and now St Helens really need to step up.
Yeah, that's it. And I think St Helens need a bucket here, and they need a stop. If they can get a bucket and a stop in these next couple of plays before it gets to the 2.5 minute mark, they're still in the game. But if they don't, I think this game might be over for them.
Miller driving inside, and Ozamelam couldn't hang on to it, and it's another turnover for the Saints. Birmingham get the ball back.
Yeah, it's getting a bit bitty for St Helens. It's like it's the final execution that's letting them down at the moment.
Iberia, Ramsdale, Martin Gale, a big 3.
Big
and
rebound.
Murter with the rebound, needed that to avoid the second chance opportunity. Self on the catch and shoot, splash. St Helens really needed that 3 to drop, and Will Self steps up to the plate. Now a 5-point game.
That's it. If they can get a stop here, and then I think that we've got a game on our hands for the last 3 minutes.
Gale, money.
Chicken, rice, and peas.
Martin Gale now moves on to 20 points on 9 for 18 shooting, 50% from the field. As a 3-pointer is no good. I think that was Ozamelam with the 3-pointer. King.
Great. Fantastic from Kane there.
And a foul has been called. And you have to say, and you said it yourself as well, even though Martin Gale leads the way, that's 4 fouls on Ozamelam. Even though Martin Gale leads the way in scoring, Kane King has been such a huge difference maker. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists so far.
Yeah, and this is the thing with Kane, because everyone thinks about his offense and he doesn't look for his own shot, they forget how much of a calming influence he is.
Okasimi again for the dunk. And just when he came down, I don't know if you saw it, but Okasimi came down a little heavy on his right leg there, and
he's been limping all game. He's been running with a limp all game. I think he's playing injured, to be honest with you. But that's what it is. It's the playoff finals. You have to play through it. It's where the big boys come to play.
And he's certainly come to play today. Murta. That's off the back iron. Will Self gets the rebound. Self-driving. Inside is Miller. Miller now moves on to 7. St Helens not going away. 2 minutes left. Rockets are up by 7. You sense a clutch play, a dagger play could come here at any moment. Here is King.
Look for Martin and Ramsdale Owen to get this shot.
Here is Ramsdale. Shot clock winding down. Ramsdale Owen backs it home. 9-point lead. Simmons driving. Great defense there from Okasimi.
It's been fantastic work from Luke Okasimi today.
Iberia, a corner 3. Oh, that would have been huge. That would have been the ultimate dagger. Less than 90 seconds left. Self-blocked by King. Okasimi looked to take credit for that, but that was a Kane King rejection. Timeout, Birmingham Rockets. So close now. And as you see there, the Birmingham Rocket fans on their feet, including the women's team who have stayed behind to watch their male counterparts in this final. And last season it was all about the Solent Kestrels, the men and the women's side and their Division 2 side all made the final. And this year it's all about the Birmingham Rockets, their men and women's team reaching the final, and that just speaks volumes of the programme, the growing programme happening in the Midlands.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I played COB last year at the Utilita after the BBL Cup final, which was a great experience. And I also I saw the women's results from last year, and the turnaround that both teams have had to come in for this season has been fantastic. I mean, for these guys to almost go unbeaten, for the women's team to make the playoff finals and to win their conference, it's been an amazing experience to see the growth from both of those teams.
1:14 remaining, and you could just sense the intensity of the crowd just growing a little bit. St Helens need a few quick buckets here. Time not on their side. Lufadeju. Lufadeju a 2, no good. Gets his own rebound. And blocked again by Okasimi.
They need a bucket here. They need a bucket here.
5 to shoot. Inside it goes. Lufadeju blows the layup. But he will go to the foul line. Maybe the intimidation of having Okasimi there put Lufadeju off, and that's very uncharacteristic of a veteran like Disraeli Lufadeju.
Yeah, I think what happened there was, I think it's in his head that he's been swatting shots all night, but also what happened there is I think he's just a little bit too much power because of that. He tried to get it just a bit too much over the top of the block to stop the block from happening, and it just made the shot go a bit skewy.
And what also that entails is that wasted roughly 20 seconds of play, and 54 seconds now remain in this game. So they've got to get a quick stop or a quick steal and go at the other end, St Helens, at this rate, as Lufadeju makes both free throws.
That's it. I mean, I think they're going to go full court man-to-man pressure defense now.
Must to,
but I think they need to get. I think they've got Martin on the inbounds, and that's a trust thing. And I think what you're going to see here is Ronald come into the lighthouse position in the centre of the court.
Here is King, who, if it came down to it, is not the best free throw shooter this season. Only 60% for Kane King.
So I don't understand that. They pressed and then they just completely came off of it.
Well, they still have fouls to give. It's only 3 team fouls for St Helens. Rockets are in the penalty. King turns it over. Simmons has it. That's one of the turnovers. But they've got to get something up. Simmons for 3. That's off the back iron. And a foul has been called, and it's going the way of the Rockets.
Yeah,
and you've got to believe that is that.
Yeah, I believe so. Ramsdale in there was really tough in there. He had 3 guys around him, and he managed to just fight his way through, and the referee seed all the contact and just gave the foul.
Ronald Iberia giving a little nod to you here in the commentary box.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what that was about. Here is Ramsdale Owen, and he's fouled. And Ramsdale Owen, a good free throw shooter, 72% roughly this season.
Yeah, you can see now Kane's high-fiving and slapping hands with a few of his teammates. I think he believes the game's wrapped up with his 7-point difference. So it could be a 9-point difference by the end of these 2 free throws.
Ramsdale Owen misses the first though. 33.8 seconds remaining.
You can see
in this Div 2 final.
You can see Martin still telling his players switch on, stay switched on. We've still got 33 seconds left, and these guys can shoot. So there's no stopping these guys hitting 2 back-to-back threes. A la Reggie Miller.
Missed both free throws, so St Helens have got to get up the floor quick. Murta for 3. Murta misses everything. He wants a foul. Latrinovic a 3. In and out. Samari Simmons will go to the foul line. They had their chances. Both, though, very well contested. You could argue that Murta's attempt, he could have been fouled on that attempt.
Yeah, again, like in the first game, the D3 game, you could see where guys were landing was the reason why the fouls were given. I think with those ones, they're so close together anyway. He's going up and coming straight back down now. To me, there was no movement forward, which is why possibly the call wasn't made.
So Simmons splits the free throws. St Helens will play full court pressure. Shot clock is now turned off with 19.5 seconds. So about 0.6 of a second were taken away. And Martin Gale, who probably one of the best free throw shooters in the National Basketball League, 92% last season with Newcastle, and 80% this season.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at St Helens, I mean, Lalkovic and Murta have been very, very quiet in this second half, and I think that's what's affected them mostly down the stretches. Those 2 guys have been quiet shooting wise, and it's allowed players like Luke and like Kane and like Martin to be able to get their shots on the other end.
Well, that commentator's curse strikes again. Gale misses both. Miller a 3, blocked by King, huge block. Latrinovic blocked by Okasimi. That's game. As the ball goes right into my lap, 2.4 seconds remaining. Birmingham fans on their feet.
And Luke is very happy with that last block there.
Rockets players are waiting, eagerly waiting to get off the bench. St Helens Saints, though, are not letting this go. 4/10 of a second remaining, and they are still fouling. That's a second foul on Latrinovic, and Kane King has the chance to officially put the game on ice.
I think that just shows from St Helens their mentality. The game is not done until the game is done. It's a bit of banter going forward.
A bit of banter, yeah, from the Rockets fans to the vast amount of St Helens fans in attendance. Well, friendly banter is allowed, isn't it?
It is allowed. Friendly banter.
Friendly banter's always allowed.
It's needed a bit more in the game as well. Nothing wrong with banter going back and forth.
King ices both. And officially, Rockets are liftoff. The city of Birmingham Rockets are the Division 2 playoff champions. And look what it means, like it has done to the Milton Keynes Breakers and the Sheffield Hatters, but look what it means to the Birmingham Rockets players.
It means a lot. It means a lot for the programme in itself, for them to be able to go to Division 1 next year with the aspirations that I know that Birmingham have as a club. It means a lot for them to be able to win this and win it in the way they did. They stuck it out and they fought through and they showed togetherness and they showed a real cohesiveness, and that's credit to Martin and to Jordan and the rest of the COB team. there. So great performances along the board, especially from Ronald and from Luke, who really surprised me today. Great work from both of them.
Martin Gale with 20 points, Kane King with 12, Ronald Averia with 18, and you can see what it means to Martin Gale. He's worked hard for this moment, no doubt about it. Last season he was travelling from Birmingham to Newcastle for training sessions and games, itching to play for his club, and he is this season, and look what it means to him, look what it means to the players. Connor Murta with 16 points leading the way for the St Helens Saints. What a season they have had though, the St Helens Saints, going all the way to London to knock off the number 2 seeded London Elite.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a great season. Again, the only team they've lost to, and that's the bitter pill, I think, for them this season. The only team they've lost to all year is City of Birmingham. And I think that's what that's a positive and a negative at the same time. They've lost to the champions, so now they go next season. Well, it's our turn. We're next up. It's us. It's our time. And that's what they've got to stay with, that mentality that it's our time next year. Let's keep the same core strength of players, strengthening areas and strengthening, and go again next year. And I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with next year in D2.
Well, no doubt with Birmingham surely being promoted into Division 1 next season, the Nichols Sports Centre will certainly be jumping at the thought of having teams like Hemel Storm, Worthing Thunder, Thames Valley Cavaliers, Solent Kestrels coming to the Midlands.
Yeah, as I've been there to watch them in the quarterfinals there at the Neutrals, and it's a great atmosphere. They've got everything going right there. They've got all the glitz and the glamour going. So it's a fantastic little it's a big arena. So it's going to be great to add that to Division 1 next year.
So the presentations will start momentarily. What a final we had here today between the City of Birmingham Rockets and the St Helens Saints. It went all the way down to the wire, as you see the highlights of what was a very physical, intense game. You see Will Self hitting the 3, Luke Gosney going inside, and the foul. But Birmingham, who trailed for the majority of the first half, hung around as the Basketball England CEO Stuart Kellett presenting the officials, the table officials, with their medals and plaques. What a fantastic day of action here at the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. Referees letting the teams play, letting them be physical, letting them compete. As the game night MC, David Woolridge, just giving a shout out to the amazing fans who have been here in attendance today. Have been near sellouts here today. Over 500 people have attended each game at least. So I think around a total of around 1,500 fans have been here across all 3 games, which is fantastic, a fantastic atmosphere and a fantastic advertisement for the National Basketball League as the St Helens Saints collect their runners-up medals. As Connor Murta there getting his runners-up medal. What a season he has had. What a season St Helens Saints have had as Luke Gosney holding that left leg. Hopefully he's okay. And there are the City of Birmingham Rockets. And something that we've seen all weekend long, fantastic sportsmanship all across the board. From the Division 3 final to the Division 2 finals for both men and women. The sportsmanship at the end has been absolutely first class. And now it will be time shortly for the Birmingham Rockets, the city of Birmingham Rockets. Of course, basketball, a huge tradition in this country's second city. Of course, with the Birmingham Bullets being so successful in the early to mid 90s. And there have been a few BBL clubs that have tried to compete in the BBL but falling short. But the city of Birmingham Rockets have maintained and have kept going in the National Basketball League and are now being crowned Division Two playoff champions. Only lost once this season in Division One, that came at the hands of Bristol. And congratulations to the city of Birmingham Rockets and their fantastic supporters that you can see there on the screen as Kane King picks up his winner's medal. What a packed game he had today. As Ronald Aberia to his knees as he collects his winner's medal. And Martin Gale there. Congratulations to Martin Gale. You know how much this means to him. As said, travelled from Birmingham last season to play for Team Newcastle. And now he is back home playing for the Rockets this season. There's assistant coach Jordan Dawes picking up his winner's medal. A fantastic team effort, though, from the city of Birmingham Rockets.
With 10 rebounds and 20 points.
And the MVP of the playoff final is the coach himself. 20 points, 10 rebounds. Martin Gale. Congratulations to Martin Gale. The MVP chants reigning supreme here at the National Basketball Performance Centre. And now, Michael Gale, 39 years young. Will lift the plaque. Birmingham are back in Division 1 and Birmingham are back winning. Congratulations to the city of Birmingham Rockets, NBL Division 2 playoff champions. What a fantastic day of basketball, with the city of Birmingham Rockets win bringing an end to the first day. Of course, as you see there it's what it's all about. Rockets celebrating in front of their fans. Of course, tomorrow it will be the turn of Division 1 as Solent Kestrels and the City of London Academy, the Suffolk Pride, will be competing for the WNBL Division 1 final, and that'll be followed by the NBL Division 1 final between the Hemel Storm and the Worthing Thunder. And the MVP, Martin Gale, is with Darren as he shakes his good friend Will Reed's hand. Darren